So what is going to happen in September? Hi, I'm Thor Sandalwood, and today we're going to analyze what's happening through September all the way into November using astrology. Okay guys, so it's been a while since I made a video. I've been quite busy. I do actually work a regular job, so things have been busy. So luckily, I have a job, and also you guys help me so much with the readings and the donations. But right now there's so many people that they're not working at all. And if you guys have been watching the news, unless you've been living under a rock, there's been quite a lot of things happening the last few months. That being said, it's kind of like we've been stalled for the last few months as well. So you guys might remember my video where I talked about May, there was going to be these riots, and then we had the pandemic happen. We had the lockdowns happen back in March. That went on for several months, depending on what state you're in. There was a reopening, and things have kind of just been in this limbo period for the last several months. So September, guys, I'm going to tell you, we are going to basically go right back into action, because September, we're having a huge karmic shift. And there's going to be 4 dates that I'm going to give you guys that you guys can mark down on your calendars, that these are the important energy shifts. And these energy shifts that happen in the month of September are going to affect us all the way into November. So you guys got to think more long term, not just what's happening in September, but think about all the way up into the election. And I know a lot of people, I've been on online forums and different things. A lot of people are saying, why do you care about the election so much? Well, guys, I hate to break it to you, but a lot of the news cycles, a lot of what we're hearing, a lot of it, this is an election year. So please, guys, be open-minded about everything you're hearing. The world is quite not exactly as it's being reported to you constantly as a drumbeat in the media. So you guys have to look at deeper sources. You also look at, you're watching my channel, so you're looking into the metaphysical reasons of why things are happening. But try to have an open mind, because I know that right now a lot of people are kind of accepting the narrative of what's happening right now. And what I do want to warn you guys, as in the last several months, there's been, with Jupiter especially being retrograde in Sagittarius, there has been a type of cult that has been forming, especially centralized in the United States, and has been taking over the country, okay, with a specific narrative of things that are happening, about things that are, how things are happening. You guys, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, you will know what I'm talking about. But there has been a cult takeover of the country the last several months, and it is the direct cause of a lot of the problems we're seeing now. And the cult is so powerful that I can't even be totally forthright in a YouTube video to you guys. Okay, that's what I want to really sink in to you guys, that I can't just say it directly what I think is happening, because this channel could be deleted, suspended, canceled, whatever. So I want you guys to remember that the only thing that would do that is a cult, because the last time I checked, me being an American, I have free speech. I can say whatever I want. And if you guys are triggered by that, I'm sorry, but you can unsubscribe from my channel. So September is going to be the month that we will probably see, quote unquote, the crap hit the fan. If not September, it will be October. So I want us to think of these 2 months as lots of important things are happening, okay? So September 9th, we have Mars. It's going to stop in the sign of Aries, and then it's going to start going retrograde. And Mars is going to be retrograde from September 9th to November 12th. So think of that. It's going to be retrograde this whole period up until the election on November 3rd. We're going to have this retrograde Mars. So what I want to think is that the energy of Mars is settling in its own sign, the sign of Aries. And if you guys have studied mythology or anything else, you guys know that Aries is the god of war. So really, we're going to be in this time of Aries means war, it means action, it means conflict. We're going to be in a hot zone from, September all the way to November. We're going to be in this time where Mars is not functioning correctly. So there's going to be a lot of, and what happens when someone doesn't have a Mars that's functioning correctly? What we see is that there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of anger boiling over, people misapplying that anger, maybe people engaging in things that they wouldn't do under normal circumstances. That's what happens when Mars is retrograde. It's not working correctly. So people might even be getting into conflicts and fights that they might otherwise not normally get involved in because the anger is boiling over. You have this rage, you have this problem that's happening. So we are definitely in the time that there could be some sort of attack, some sort of incident. So we are in a very dangerous time. And if you guys study history, we always know there's also around an election, there's always the October surprise. So this could be September, October, that we have some sort of surprise, some sort of event that's going to shift our perception of a lot of things. And the reason why I see it shifting our perception is because right after Mars starts going retrograde on September 9th, we have Jupiter go direct on September 12th. You guys can mark that on your calendar. Then we have Rahu entering Taurus on September 19th, which that's another huge karmic shift, not just for society, but also in your personal life. So if you look at your chart, you're going to want to know, what does Rahu mean when it enters Taurus? And if you look at your chart, Taurus is going to be a specific house depending on what ascendant sign that you are. And then September 29th, we have Saturn, after its very long retrograde, finally going direct. September 29th, right at the very end of the month. So I'm looking at all these factors and I'm thinking, okay, what does this mean? Okay, so Jupiter going direct, that's kind of us regaining our sense, kind of regaining our purpose, our sense of dharma, what's happening. Sagittarius is beliefs. It is religion. There might be some sort of also pushback from a lot of the churches and so forth to reopen. There might be some pushback with that because, guys, last time I checked, First Amendment of the Bill of Rights is the freedom to exercise religion, and that Congress shall pass no law limiting the exercise of religion. And what have we been doing the last few months? Restricting, having these bans on church attendance. And I know some people are going to say, the virus and different things like that. But seriously, guys, people should be able to follow their religious beliefs, whether or not. And yeah, this is going to trigger some of you, but I'm sorry. But that's the last time I checked, the country did have a Bill of Rights, and it does have a freedom to assemble, freedom to go to your church. That's a fact. So we do have Jupiter going direct. So there's a sense of purpose. So I'm thinking, okay, September 9th, Mars goes retrograde. Between now and September 9th, or just kind of mixed into this October energy, I do foresee some sort of event happening. And this event might coalesce the people. And I'm thinking of events like 9/11, Pearl Harbor, those kind of events that happen where people rally and start getting a new purpose, a new fixed purpose. Mars retrograde means there's going to be a lot of unrest on the streets. Last time I checked, they didn't extend the extra $600 benefit that they have for unemployment. So we know that people are getting more and more desperate. We know that they're getting more broke. We know that there are the racial tensions that are being stoked by the media also. They have their hand in it. And we know that these things are being all stoked. And we know there's a lot of anger about what's happening. There's a lot of people that, back in March, they thought we're going to be shut down for 2 weeks. And come August 18th, when I make this video, they're still not back at their jobs. So you guys think about that. There's a lot of people that are very angry and they're very uncertain. So when we see Rahu entering Taurus, Taurus is the sign of the bull. It is the sign of stability. The moon is exalted in Taurus because Taurus is an earth sign. It's where the moon, the emotions, can find that stability of earth. where the moon feels safe, secure. So September 9th, September 19th, there's going to be a change in the mood of the country. I don't know if it's going to be, hey, we kind of need the government to step in a little more because things are kind of getting out of control. We need some order and we need some stability. So that's what we're going to see. September 29th, when Saturn goes direct in Capricorn. And remember, Capricorn is the 10th house of the natural zodiac. 10th house is government. September 29th, we are going to see, and following, we are going to see a larger response on the part of the government. And last time I checked, Trump is still president, so it's going to be probably under the Trump administration. There could be a form of martial law, a form of direct intervention to quell whatever is happening. And Saturn, guys, Saturn is the planet of law and order. Mars is the planet of aggression, of war, of that kind of thing, but Saturn is the law and order. You better follow the rules, you better do this. And Saturn going direct, he's going to have, he's going to have some issues that he hasn't solved in the last several months of this retrograde. So there is going to be a sense of more law and more order happening, probably when the government is going to stabilize whatever's happening right before the elections. So we may have some sort of event that happens and the government is going to step in. And it might be very, very direct. I'm talking checkpoints, different things, making sure everybody's acting appropriately. And I'm actually seeing it's going to be very draconian. So what I'm also seeing is there might be more lockdowns associated with the pandemic, but also the lockdowns, actually curfews might also be coming into effect. A mix of the pandemic and a mix of social unrest. So just remember that there's a lot of misinformation coming from all sorts of directions. So we are going to see probably more lockdowns happening around the times of the election. The media is already announcing that there's a second wave on its way. And, if you guys study a lot of things, you know that there's something called predictive programming, where they're getting you ready for this idea of this second wave, this second lockdown series that's going to happen. So with Mars being retrograde all the way till November 12th, I don't know if we're going to quite know who is president on November 3rd. And there's probably going to be some legal issues happening there with the election. And we already know that there's problems going on with the Postal Service, with Trump apparently it's being defunded. Trump says that, the mail-in ballots, that the election could be rigged. The Democrats are pushing for the Postal Service to be open and everyone to do the mailing voting. So definitely we see a clash brewing with that. Okay, so November 3rd, we probably will not know who is president on that day, guys, unfortunately. There's going to be court battles. Probably it's going to be like Al Gore and Bush back in 2000, where maybe there's hanging chads or disputes over ballots. So there's going to be a lot of, what I really want to warn you guys about, there's going to be a lot of unrest happening over the next couple months. And there's going to be also a large draconian style crackdown in response to this. So we are entering very scary times at the moment. But I want to remind you guys that everything that is happening, there's always a greater purpose. We are seeing old structures kind of, implode at this point. And we are given an opportunity to really look at our values, to look at how do we want to restructure society? What worked in the past and what didn't. Because obviously there's not a lot of things that worked correctly. And I told you guys in some of my previous videos, we know that the justice system hasn't worked correctly. We know that that's been very unfair to many people, and it's oppressed a lot of disadvantaged peoples. We know that a lot of these wars in the past have been very unjust. We know that the distribution of tax burden is not, beneficial to everybody. We know that the healthcare definitely is a problem. So there's a lot of things that we're going to have to discuss and reorganize as a nation. So I definitely see more problems happening, and I do see that, yes, there's going to be more draconian laws, and it might not even look like the country, especially United States, guys. And sometimes I forget that my audience is international, but especially in the United States, because we're in an election year, that's why I keep focusing on it, because this is really going to affect the greater world in what we live in. So whatever happens with this election, with everything happening, the US is kind of like that last like little domino, which is affecting the whole world, okay? And this is really the stability of this, you know, the United States as a country, if it survives in its current form or if it doesn't. So that's what we're looking at. So we are looking at very scary times. I do see the law and order thing as a big theme with Saturn going direct and being a Capricorn. There is a possibility that we may see this that's been talked about in the light worker communities, this idea of mass arrests. Okay, this idea of perpetrators of different things in these sealed indictments being released, and there being some sort of retribution, because Saturn is kind of like the blind justice coming through. Okay, and then Mars going retrograde, there's going to be a lot of anger about what happened. So there might also be a lot of information that you guys, that we, all of us, find out during the next several months that's going to be quite shocking and cause people to cause a lot of unrest. And it might not be even related to this pandemic or all the other riots. It might be some things that get released that are new, shocking, and things that cause people to basically riot. So guys, I just wanted you to know we will get through this time. It's going to be a rough few months. I am planning on doing another video about Kamala Harris. I think Biden, if he wants to win the election, I do think, and I will say this, I think he made a mistake in choosing his vice president. I don't think that Kamala Harris is going to add to his campaign. So if you haters want to comment, please comment down below. Also, we're going to do another video on Trump and the election. But right now, guys, all I can say is whatever you're thinking about the election, I know the polls are showing like Biden 10 points ahead right now. And you think you have this narrative of everything that's how it is. Guys, in the next 2.5 months, your whole world might be switched 180 degrees. So I want you guys to be prepared for that. That there is going to be an October surprise or September surprise. And that it is going to shake you to the foundations of everything. And it might not be the narrative you're being told about everything going on right now. So guys, get prepared for that. Please guys, if you have any comments, please comment down below. Let me know what you think. And if you like my channel and you like my video, please like it and please subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.